I would like to talk about esoteric and exoteric. You might be familiar with it. You might know what that is, what those two terms mean. You might not. I used to not even have a clue, only until about a year ago. Okay? Until I started diving into some of the books and materials and podcasts that are maybe not in the mainstream, that you wouldn't easily get sent by somebody else, that you won't find on social media. And this is what esoteric means. Esoteric means hidden. Esoteric means covered. Esoteric means guarded off for the mainstream, for the people, for the general population to have access to it. So esoteric means hidden. Exoteric, like an exoskeleton, means out in the public. These are the stuff you learn at school. The stuff that most people are being taught as the, let's say, consensus material. The stuff that people read from a young age or even get from the church or from other organizations. We could say the Bible, the new version of the Bible, is exoteric. It is out there for everybody to read, and they want everybody to read it. There are certain aspects even of the Bible, but this goes for every single religion, group, keepers of knowledge, that there is versions or pieces of these texts that are esoteric, that are being kept hidden on purpose. So now you understand the difference between esoteric and exoteric. Now you might want to ask yourself, why? Why would certain knowledge, information, be hidden? And why would certain information be publicly available? The answer is, if you control the information, if you control the knowledge, you control basically wisdom. You control the narrative. You control history. You control how people should think. You control how people should behave. And you control the power. So if you have control over information, and you even have control over the information flows in the ways that it would reach the public or reach people, or doesn't reach certain people, that means you have power. That means you have influence. That means you have an unfair advantage over the other people that do not have access to this information, to this esoteric information, because they only give you the exoteric information. Next question is, how does certain information give you power? Why would somebody be better off, or why would a group of people be better off if they do have the information and other people do not have the information? Because you've heard it before, ignorance is bliss. No, ignorance is ignoring something that is being presented to you or being shown to you. Ignorance is bliss. You really want to think about that term, because it's true in some ways. It is maybe easier or less hurtful to not know certain things. But real bliss comes from knowing. Real bliss comes from wisdom and integrating what you learn into your life. So back to esoteric and exoteric. Because I have good news also. It seems to be that this is bad news. Why is certain information being kept hidden? This has been going on for thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. That certain types of information were being kept hidden from the public for a select few to be able to use the information and have control over the populace. You can name any of the large organizations, religious, political, even science. Organizations have always tried to keep information hidden. And this used to be easy because they were physical books. Here we go, talking about esoteric. This is a great book to read. These books used to be physically in libraries. There was not even such a thing as a cloud or the internet where you can just find the information. So if you see where I'm getting at, only up until 20 or 30 years ago, it was actually very easy to keep information hidden, to keep information esoteric. It was very easy. People that did try to leak the information or share it with the public, information that was supposed to be kept hidden, you know what happened to them? Millions of people, and these can be witches or people sharing information, have been killed, burned, humiliated, expelled for sharing information that wasn't meant to be shared, according to these individuals or groups of people. So these structures, these powers have been very effective in keeping information hidden, in keeping it esoteric. Let's get to the good news. Let's get to why this is actually completely shifting right now and why you are in some ways the luckiest person on earth. It has become very difficult to keep information hidden because of the internet, because of the device that you're watching this on, because of all the online libraries, and because of the scale at which information can be shared. You can find books right now by just doing a quick search on YouTube or Google, and you can find books that only 50 years ago you could not get your hands on, you could not find. You would have to go to some place, know the right people, and then be able to read that book maybe once or look at it. And now it is just in your pocket. So the esoteric, the hidden, is becoming revealed. And this is why there is such a big shift happening in the world and in consciousness. Because the information from all the corners of the earth, let's say, all the different religions that used to be very separated, very isolated only 20, 30 years ago. Now we have access to all of it, and not just the exoteric parts of it, but the esoteric part of it. And every single religion that you might know, that you might think that you understand, and you get their stories, well, if you start reading the more esoteric information within these religions, you might start to see that there's much more to the stories than you have thought before. And you will start to make connections that, oh, this is why they left these books out. One of the main things I've found or discovered is that the esoteric, hidden parts of most of the religions get into stories of beings from the sky or from the heavens coming down to earth and influencing human beings and our story. And this is just one little esoteric thing that comes up when you start diving into, let's say, some of the hidden parts of the Bible. Why is this good news? It's good news because the truth is coming out. People are starting to get access to the truth. And now we can start having actual conversations together with all of the resources and all of the esoteric information in our pockets, so we can, there is an hyperbolic trend happening in terms of information flow, in access to information. And I have noticed something, that since 2024 started, I believe in an information age, I would say that makes sense. But since this year has started, the level, the sophistication of information that's coming out, that's being shared on podcasts or videos, the specificity, the research backing it up, the topics that we couldn't before talk about, aliens, consciousness, waking up, manifestation, certain abilities. There's so much interesting stuff that you can find that used to be hidden. And that's why this is such a beautiful opportunity for us, because all that information, all that light is coming to the surface. But of course there's also some bad news that comes with the good news, because we have polarity, we have to even it out. Because so much is coming to light, it also means that more of the darkness is coming to light. Some of this esoteric hidden stuff, information, is more dark than you might think. We'll show you stuff about our history as humans and as humanity, things that have happened that are pretty dark to hear and pretty tough actually to read about. Because what you believe about our history, about the species as humans, might be very, very, very different than what we have been told. Than the exoteric story that is being told to us in schools and in books and in the stuff that is very curatedly given to us, presented to us. This is what you should read. Don't read those books. This is what you should read. This is the story. This is how you came here. This is who you are. This is what you're here to do. But those questions, those deep questions that everybody has deep inside, will not be answered by the exoteric available stuff. The story that's being told in those is very, I want to say, bland. It doesn't ring true. It doesn't give satisfactory answers. Now, I cannot speak for everybody. I cannot speak for you. I can only speak for myself. And I can tell you, getting into the more esoteric side of things, and this book has for me been the catalyst. It talks about the hermetic principles. And this is a perfect example of esoteric knowledge. This knowledge has been here for tens of thousands of years. It actually comes from the emerald tablets of Thoth, which might have been dated to 36,000 years ago. And these principles that talk about the fundament of reality, the fundament of creation, and what we are, this stuff is coming out right now. And I am seeing more and more people in my direct environment that not only read or know of these books, but we can have conversations about them and about these principles, about the esoteric side of life. And I heard something beautiful in a podcast just 2 days ago. It was somebody who was talking about waking up, about reaching enlightenment, which I'll make another video about, but it might be much more simple and much more basic and much more entry level than we think. It is the moment that the realization comes that there is a power, there is a ultimate being, there is a infinite intelligence that created all of this, that we are all in the middle of. The moment that you realize that that has to be, and that you are made, your spirit, your source is made of the same thing as that, it's like you discover a second half of life. And I love this. And what I would say, to tie it to esoteric and exoteric, is that the physical experience, the day-to-day life, bound by time and bound by space, biology, processes, measurable things, science, is the first half of life, is the exoteric part of life. By going inwards, by finding new types of information, and by realizing that there is much more going on than meets our physical eyes and our senses, that's when the second half of life opens. And that's where we discover the esoteric part of life. Dealing with esoteric information is much more going inward. It is much more experiential. It is much more individual in how you want to process that information and what you actually make of it. It's going inward. It is exploring the inner universe, the you-inverse. So why is this amazing news? It's because maybe in the first time that humanity has seen now, all of the information is coming to light. All of the knowledge, all of the wisdom is there for us to pick up. The power, the personal power, I'm not saying greed and money and power over other people. I'm saying personal power, discovering the power within yourself, who you truly are and what you're capable of, comes through the exploration of the esoteric that is now available to you. Because there's people and organizations that are still holding on, trying their last and their best to keep certain information hidden. Maybe not hidden anymore. Now it's about distraction. Instead of these people, these individuals, these groups, instead of them trying to keep information hidden because they cannot do that anymore, they will now try to distract you as best as possible. And that's where we see social medias playing a huge role, news playing a huge role, creating drama, online celebrities. This is to keep you distracted from looking at esoteric, inner knowledge, knowing, wisdom, and power. So watch out. The good news is that it is all available to you right now. All of the esoteric information is available for you to pick up and find and read and listen. The bad news is that there will be more distractions for you. More ways that your mind can be pulled into about day-to-day drama, world events, news, stuff happening that you actually have no control over. It is outside of you. And where the power is inside of you, through the esoteric ways. You're going to have to put an effort. Nobody is going to give you exactly what you should read. It's about you finding that yourself. I will be sharing some amazing esoteric information. I'll be talking about these things. I will make some of what I find available for people to look at, but it's going to be your journey. The esoteric journey, the inner journey is very individual. But because it's individual and because there's nobody telling you to dive into this stuff, there is forces trying to get you away from it and to distract you. To keep you in this 3D, physical, time-bound, space-bound realm, dimension. When you realize what you truly are, and you are just inhabiting this physical body to experience this 3D, but you are something much else. And you can operate from this higher state of being, higher state of consciousness. But you first have to understand. You first have to know. And then apply that knowledge, turn it into wisdom, and take the power out of that. But you can operate and you can think and you can manifest outside of this physical experience. So I would encourage you to take advantage of this beautiful opportunity that you now can find all esoteric information that has been hidden for thousands of years from people because they knew how powerful it is. Now it's available to you. Now it's your chance to actually use this lifetime to become aware of these types of information, go inward, find the power, find out about who you truly are and what you are capable in this existence of. You can't even imagine the gifts and the blessings that are within you. Go on this esoteric journey. Listen to the audiobooks that people have recorded for you. Of books that have been hidden. They have never been available like this. Now you will find yourself scrolling on social media. And you will find yourself looking at shorts or TikTok or Instagram. Or you will find yourself scrolling and you will spend 2 hours, maybe every day, scrolling, looking at nothing, at things that don't matter, distractions. If you would have spent that same 2 hours on diving into some deeper material, some deeper knowledge, some esoteric things, if you make that switch, if you make that choice, if you spend your time differently, diving deep and instead of getting distracted, you're going to find so much power. You're going to find so much confidence. You're going to find so many answers to the things that you have been looking for a long time. Understand that as humanity, we have been, to a certain extent, kept dumb. We're given just enough information to make us feel smart, to make us feel like we understand the world that we live in, to make us feel like we understand the universe that we live in, to make us feel that we understand who we are, what we are, why we are here. We're being given just enough to make us think that we know. Once you start diving into the more esoteric hidden information, you're going to find out quickly that this story is very carefully curated. Very carefully, very deliberately. And you will also start to understand why this esoteric information has been kept hidden. Because it gives the individual, it gives you personal power. When too many individuals gain personal power, power within themselves, power flowing out of themselves, then it will be very difficult to control a population. And that is what's crumbling, that is the good news. But these forces, let's say, will try their very best, and these will be their last attempts, to still get you to not look at the truth about who you are, what you are, why you're here, and how much power is actually within yourself. The esoteric, the hidden, is now not hidden. Use this opportunity, this information age that we live in, this huge awakening of individuals that is happening, and that many people, and probably if you're still looking at this, you're realizing that this is happening. You are realizing that people, the population, are waking up at a very, very quick pace. And that is because the esoteric, the hidden, is becoming uncovered, and we are remembering. Think about that word. We are remembering what we forgot. And if we really want to get down to it, I wasn't planning to talk about this, but if you want to get down to it, it might be the case that we chose this incarnation. We chose to come here at this time. Now there is the veil of forgetting. There is one of the rules when we come here down to earth, to have this physical experience, to learn, to feel, to touch, to feel emotions, to have a physical body, to be limited, to be separated. One of the rules is that we forget that we choose this, and that we forget what and who we really are. Remembering. We don't learn new things. We remember them. And that is why sometimes you hear something that you think you've never heard before, but your being knows, but your body and this consciousness forgot. And that's the game. And to remember who you truly are and what you truly are is one of the goals of the game. So have fun with this game. You got this.